Split rail fencing is one of the most basic types of fencing. It has a simple design comprised of posts and 2 or more rails that slide into the posts. It's called a split rail fence because the rails, or horizontal boards, are not sawn. They're split from logs, which give the fence a rustic look. A split rail fence won't confine pets or other small animals, but it will define a property line or boundary. Before you get started, you may need to determine your exact property line and obtain permits. Make sure to review any fence plans with the neighbors who share your property line to avoid any potential disputes. Decide where you want to locate any openings or gates, and then measure the perimeter of the fence to get the total length. Divide the total length of the fence by the length of each rail to determine how many posts you'll need. Fence rails are usually either 8 or 11 feet long. You should also determine how many of the posts you'll need to be corner posts or end posts. Whenever you dig, it's important to avoid damaging any buried utility lines, so before any project, call 811. Your local utility companies will mark the location of any water, gas, and power lines in your yard. To be safe, you should hand dig any holes that are within 24 inches of a marked utility. To establish a straight line for the posts, you can create a simple batter board with stakes and mason's line. Drive the stakes into the ground about a foot outside of the end posts. Run the string line to represent either the outside or inside perimeter of the fence. Mason's line is a good choice because it's strong enough to be pulled tightly. You'll use a string to guide the rest of the installation. Installing a split rail fence doesn't require precision and can be forgiving, but you should try to make the spacing between posts consistent. Using the rails as a guide, you can mark each fence post location using spray paint. Position the fence posts so that the rails will overlap on each end. In general, the distance between the center of the posts should be about 10 to 12 inches less than the length of the rails. Use a post hole digger or auger to dig the first hole. Place the soil on a tarp for easy cleanup or disposal. For a fence that's 3.5 feet tall, the holes should be at least 18 inches deep. If necessary, dig the hole deeper or cut the post to the proper length. Make sure the post is plumb and backfill with gravel or soil. It's very important to tamp and backfill every few inches to ensure your post is solid. Depending on your soil conditions, you may need to set your post in concrete. Dig the hole for the second post and adjust the height just as you did for the first post. Then place the second post in the hole loosely and insert the rails between the first and second posts. The rails should be parallel to the ground. Make sure the second post is plumb and backfill as before. Continue the installation with each section of fence using the rails as a guide for your posts. For this fence, we chose to add a gate. Most gates are 4 feet wide, and you can purchase hardware kits that include hinges and a latch. Be sure to measure and level the gate before installation. Gate posts are a little thicker than regular posts, and the holes don't go all the way through. If your fence requires a corner, you've got 2 options. You could use 2 regular posts installed right next to each other, or you could install a special corner post like this. Just like the gate posts, it's a little thicker than a regular post, but this one has holes on 2 sides to allow the rails to be set in at an angle. It's a good idea to screw or nail these rails into the posts because the rails won't go all the way through. Complete the installation by digging holes and setting the posts and rails as you go. Installing a split rail fence can be pretty easy. Often, the hardest part is planning and purchasing the right materials. But when it's installed, a split rail fence is a beautiful way to define the edge of your property.